but it happened, and it's a good thing that I knew about it. Usually that DT might have been over there to intercept it in time. Also notice that if I didn't have zealots over here, he could be running with a group of links and stopping me from taking my mineral only expansion at any point. So it's really important that I have those zealots over there, like right over here as well. Since he got through those temples, it's important that I keep guarding it. Medusa, along with like the new map Outsider and such, these are maps that require you to think, and that's why they might be difficult maps for some. It doesn't really allow you to only play like a robot and only macro and then just attack and so on. Like, there's much more to it, and you might lose much more games if you don't think or if you get careless. So in my opinion, like Medusa, Outsider, those are both very interesting maps, and I really like them a lot, because those who like do intelligent and strategic moves are the ones who will prevail. Also notice how I didn't move out right away once I had High Templars. That is simply because if I have too few Zealots, I cannot stop him from sniping my High Templars. Like, he could just snipe my High Templars and lose no Hydras or very few Hydras. And I didn't want that, so I waited for a little bit longer so that I got a few more Zealots, so I really didn't have any troubles with that. Also notice that I started rather early robotics. It might be that he wouldn't have any cannons, any lurkers at this point yet, but I just wanted to be sure about it, since he could have been making lurkers instead of hiders, so I wanted to be safe about that, like no matter what. Also notice how it seemed like I kind of wasted my Zealots, but that's actually something I was kind of baiting him in, to keep attacking my Zealots while having his units grouped to get a better storm. It's kind of risky, but I decided to take the gamble. It's nothing big. In any case, I made that robotics facility kind of beforehand, since he could have been making lurkers, and if I only start getting robotics after he has lurkers, it might take me way too long to break out, since his contain will be far too strong, most likely at that point. And secondly, besides being strong, it's also gonna give him so much freedom over the map and all that. I simply don't want that. Also, I'm now kind of starting to think about getting observers and dragoons. I also started my dragoon range. I think that is simply because I expect him to have lurkers. And another key thing is that you can keep out for when you're playing PvZ is that since he made Hydras, and you saw a lot of Hydras and Hydra upgrades for one, that means that since he's most likely gonna make both Hydra upgrades, it means that he's not gonna have very quick lurkers. So you have a lot of freedom, and you don't really need that quick observers. You can kind of move out. Perhaps you could even say greedily. Well, not really greedily, but you can still move out kind of carelessly if it's unlikely for him to have lurkers. And over here it was pretty obvious that he doesn't have lurkers yet, seeing how he made so many Hydras and he had like all these Hydra upgrades and so on. Also notice how I kind of move out before he had lurkers and before he was able to contain me. This is a key thing. Like, you cannot just sit in your base and wait until you have 200 out of 200. You kind of gotta be moving out and stopping him for the worst to happen before it happens. Like, this is also a big difference between a winning player and a losing player. Instead of like letting something happen and then dealing it with it, you just kind of stop it before it happens. Like over here, I didn't let him contain me. His lurkers could have been slightly before what they were, but at this time I kind of had luck on my side, and since I had robotics beforehand, I didn't make observers right away though, as you may have noticed, since I knew that he didn't have lurkers yet. So I didn't make observers right away, so I get more High Templar and more gas for important units. Also notice how I was able to easily defeat that lurker army, since I kind of got a lot of storms right there. Since I moved out before, he was able to contain me, but so I got a big part of his army with my storms. And secondly, I microed my zealots, kind of spread my army out, and surrounded those lurkers with my zealots. I didn't allow them to get my zealots to get clumped. That's why I was able to manage with so few dragoons. Normally, I'd possibly need much more dragoons when it comes to breaking out and when it comes to dealing with lurkers. But over here, I was able to make such a huge surround and kind of and that stuff. So I really didn't need that many dragoons when it came to fighting this lurker army. Over here I kind of had a careless macro, and like right now I didn't need more gateways than what I have right here. And that is one mistake I have. Like, I'm not kidding, bad macro can really be the only reason why you lose a PvZ. And if you have a very good macro in PvZ, you can make so many mistakes and still come back in the game that it's just amazing. Now I'm just scouting and taking down his expansions. I kind of have the army advantage over here, and I'm reinforcing my army, and I figured that that expansion is gonna die anyway, so I brought another group over here kind of to intercept him from stopping me from taking this expansion and so on. Like, there's really not much at this point anymore to this game. Like, it's pretty much over. I have such a huge army advantage. I have the economy advantage. I know that he only has those 4 bases which he has right now, and one of them is like a small mineral only, and there really isn't any way I can lose anymore. Like, once the Protoss out expands the Zerg, you can just keep losing your every single battle and you're still gonna win, because you can just reproduce your army in just a couple of moments. One mistake I had over here is that I could have had more gateways. GG.